Kia ora. G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. Like, comment and subscribe. And yes, you are here today because the mighty All Blacks has delivered for their fans a pretty convincing win in Sky Stadium in Wellington after a, close game last week against the French. And this is why the All Blacks is the most respected, most feared team in the world. After a lackluster performance, despite the win, people thought it was a little bit lackluster. They came out this week significantly improved mentally, physically, and just strategically, much more prepared for this game and delivered for their fans what they came out to look for, a dominant, convincing win over the French. And this is why I have an All Black jersey. This is why many people all around the world has an All Black jersey despite not being a Kiwi, because of how much the All Blacks team, how much they care about their fans, how much they care about the tradition and the history that is passed down to every player who wears the jersey, passed to them from their predecessors, how much they care about that lineage. This is why the All Blacks is one of the greatest teams in the world, the best team in the world, the most recognized rugby brand in the world. And this is why the French team, I do have a French jersey, right? This is why what the French are doing with their top 14 restrictions is quite a well, what should I say? Quite a disappointing, okay? Quite disappointing to all the people watching this historic series between the two sides. Everybody remembers the time when 2007, the All Blacks came out in that infamous grey jersey and lost to, I still remember the name of the guy, Michalak. Who can forget that? Michalak came on bald-headed, right? Shaved bald head, and he threw a forward pass and knocked the All Blacks out of the Rugby World Cup. A one that where everybody thought Richie McCaw wasn't walk out as a champion. And nope, the French did what everybody knew the French could do when they show out to play rugby and delivered a historic, memorable moment that no one will ever forget against the All Blacks. Who can forget? 4 years after that, 2011 Rugby World Cup. Eden Park, the France, 1 point behind. Every Kiwi watching that game had a 150 heart rate for the entire second half. And McDonald came on and he almost missed the kick right in front. I'm sure a lot of Kiwis still remembers that. And again, the history, the tradition of the two teams goes all the way back to the 90s as well, with the Gautier himself surely knows what his team has achieved, what he himself has done on the field against the All Blacks in the 1999 World Cup. And to have the so-called B team, or some people saying C team, show up to the holy land of rugby, a spiritual land of rugby where people love the game so much. I think the only people in the world that love rugby as much as the All Blacks are probably the South Africans, and then you'll be like the French right after that. To show up with this team because of top 14 restrictions, it's really disappointing. And I think if you're a French fan, this is not what you wanted to see either. Because quite frankly, if you had your A team here, that first test could have been a 1. You could have won it already in the first test. And this one, who knows what could have happened. You could have made a historical moment that we all could remember. Like when Michalak came on and eliminated the All Blacks at the World Cup. And yet, we got nothing. We got another stats in the history book. A number that nobody's going to remember. And I know, a lot of you guys saying, oh, top 14, the players are tired, they need the rest, man. You know what we do? Our players also play Super Rugby before the July Test series. We actually give our players breaks during the season so they are available and ready and rested for the July Test series. The top 14 is not the only tournament in the world. And you know what? We are subsidizing the top 14 when we do that. When we rest our players during Super Rugby and pay them to stay at home so that they can show up in these great historic games and perform for the fans all around the world. We are promoting rugby as the greatest sport in the world to everybody watching around the world. And the French Federation is not doing that. The top 14 is not doing that. You're doing nothing to promote the sport. And when we do this, we are subsidizing your competition so you can save the money and poach more of our players to be in your competition. I really think that we should be able to sue you for lost revenue. Sue the top 14 for lost revenue. Because we have sacrificed and made subsidies. Like, our fans turned out, did not want to see this game. A flogging, one-sided flogging. When Legara kicked the ball away after a penalty, even the commentators are confused. Oh, it's a penalty. They just randomly kicked the ball away. And by the way, I don't know about France, right? This jersey, right? Isn't this jersey supposed to be worn by the best players in your country? Or is it just like handed around like a piece of rag that's supposed to, you know, the next person just come and wipe the floor with it and then throw it to the next guy? Is that what that French jersey represents nowadays? Awful. Awful. Where's the pride? Where's the pride in your jersey, France? Where's the pride in the history of your team? And I know people are saying, oh, top 14, man. You don't need to have top 14 teams in your competition. You can reduce it down to 12. Playing 2 fewer games against the worst teams in your competition could free up your players to play in the international test matches against the All Blacks. If you ask any French fan, would they rather watch 2 games? I mean, 4 weeks, actually. 4 weeks of extra games against the 2 worst teams in the top 14. Or they'd rather watch their top players playing a 3-test series against the All Blacks. I guarantee you, nobody wants to see the 4 games against the 2 worst teams in the competition instead of the All Blacks. There's just no excuse. It's just pure greed and corrupt French Rugby Federation pulling strings backstage, pretending that they can't do anything about it. Just awful. Awful. And I feel bad for the French fans who paid their money, traveled like what? 20 hours on the flight to New Zealand and watch this shit? My God. Anyway, that's my little rant about the top 14 and their conducts. Let me know if you agree or not. My God. Just awful. Anyway, let's look at the positives of the game. The All Blacks came out with the didn't do the Kampa Pango tonight. They actually did the Kamate tonight, which I thought was a bit interesting. I thought the guys changed the rules that you're not gonna do Kamate anymore because it's like the New Zealand All Black, not the actual, it's the New Zealand haka. It's not the actual All Black haka. So I thought they were gonna just do Panka or Pango going forward now. But hey, they're going back to it. But I don't mind. I like the Kamate haka because I think that's something that I'm used to growing up. The Kampo or Pango is something that I still think as the new haka, even though it's been out for almost 20 years at this point. It's actually exactly 20 years, I think. 2005 it was introduced against the Springboks. So it's 20 years since the Kampo or Pango has been introduced, but I still like the Kamate and I still like the Kampo or Pango as an idea of, like, you know, the next step up as the haka, you know, as the occasion rising up to the occasion for the All Blacks there. And, you know, it's really, really good to see that again, in my opinion. And sure enough, the All Blacks came out and delivered outstanding performance, just like a lot of the weakness from last week, like the poor high ball, the inaccurate high ball, was kind of taken out of the game. There were a few high balls, but mostly the All Blacks stuck to their fundamentals, stuck to what they know they do best, which is sustain pressure. Basically with that unpredictability of being able to attack you from anywhere on the field, leaving a lot of the French defense scrambling, not knowing what's going to happen, whether they're going to kick it or whether they're going to run it. And I think that the All Blacks did that really well. There was a lot more urgency around the rocks, I think, for the All Blacks this game, something that last week resulted in quite a bit more, bit of a turnover there, which was also a big improvement for them. And overall, I thought the All Blacks just like much more well-oiled machine. Everybody was playing the same rhythm, and they clearly did some more study as well. Looked at, so there was like a couple of the set moves, like one of the tries from Roy got down the sideline. They clearly looked at the French play and then worked out something they worked towards to executing the game. I do think that the scrummaging is still looking a little bit weak for the All Blacks. I thought, I really felt that the All Blacks would dominate the scrummaging instead of there were times the scrum got wheeled by the French side, even though that did result in penalty to the All Blacks. But I still think that's a bit of a weakness because referee could go 50-50 on some of those decisions there. And I thought overall much better performance. Beauden Barrett, again, I thought really controlled the game, controlled the tempo. No crazy stupid kicking. The only stupid kicking was on the French side from Legaric, so that was good to see. And overall, this was a good performance. Adi Savea, the captain, I was really happy to see that. I think that his leadership, just like he did with Moana Pacifica, once again took the team, took the players around him, and taken up to the next level. And I think I think it was really, really good. And I think a lot of the Kiwi fans will be pretty happy after seeing this result. And I guess maybe feeling a bit more confident going into the Rugby Championship as they're going to host the Springboks at Eden Park soon in a couple months' time. So that's a sigh of relief for a lot of the All Black fans to see this result. The match stats of the game: 6 tries for the All Blacks, the 1 for the French, 428 run meters for the All Blacks, 267 for the French, 24 defenders beaten to the 25. Oh, wait, hang on. How much is it? 25 defenders beaten for the front for the All Blacks, 18 for the France, 13 turnovers conceded for both teams. 155 tackles made for the All Blacks, 18 missed tackles, slightly on the high end. On the percentage-wise, you want to be under 10%. French, though, 143 tackles made, 25 missed tackles, a little bit worse there. 26 kicks in play for the All Blacks, 23 for the French. 1 missed conversion for the All Blacks. Beauden Barrett did get a send-off for a yellow card for a deliberate knock-on. But the All Blacks, one thing I thought was really good when that happened is the All Blacks didn't just kick 3 points. They went for the line-out, and then they got the try from the rolling maul. That's something I've been talking about for a long time as well, because it is actually easier to attack with 14 players than to defend with 14 players, because there is no overlap. Like you can't create an overlap with 14. There's always an overlap when you're defending with 14 players. So All Blacks not only made the right decision, but I think the bold decision, the tough decision, and that's something that I thought the All Blacks lost a little bit last year. With a lot of the goal kicking unnecessarily, especially last year against France, State of France was, Scotty kicking that goal in the last minute there was, I think, left a lot of people a little bit unhappy. 708 kick meters for the All Blacks, 668 for the French. Breakdowns, 2 loss out of 87 for the All Blacks, 5 loss out of 88 for the French. Lineouts, 18 lineouts for the All Blacks, 2 lost. 10 lineouts for the French, 4 lost for them. There was a lot of pressure. Fabian Holland did really, really well for the All Blacks there as well. And just overall, the amount of pressure for the lineout was, got to the point where the French was just trying to do like a quick throws or overthrows, and then just resulted putting themselves in even more pressure as a result of that. And once again, just really, really poor show up for the French team there. Scrums, 4 for the All Blacks, 5 for the French. 1 scrum loss for the French for Boring Ying, I think that was called by the referee. Penalties conceded, 8 against the All Blacks, 14 against the French. Again, just repeated penalties piling up. There was 1 yellow card for a lift tackle for the French side. Wasn't really that big of an issue in my opinion. But overall, this was a much, much, much better performance by the All Blacks and delivered the results that a lot of fans are looking for. Anyway, let's do a quick recap of the points for the game. 7 minutes of the game. The game actually quite close for the first 7 minutes or so. In fact, the France had the front foot and not able to execute to score any tries. At 7 minutes, finally, the All Blacks got inside the French half. They got a penalty and they kicked 3. I was like, probably couldn't go for a little bit. But anyway, I can't understand why they want to do that. 3 points on the board for after last week, especially. 3 points on the board for the All Blacks. 14 minutes into the game, there was a 22-meter line out for the All Blacks. And then Adi Savia breaks off to the short side, pops the ball to Wildkard, and Wildkard ran down the train tracks for the try. 10 points to nil, again, showing that the All Blacks has studied some of the defensive patterns from this French side. 18 minutes into the game, there was deliberate knock on to Bodie Barrett, BB. He gets taken off, and the French kick 3. 3 points to 10 with the play in the bin. I always say I don't like this decision. Some of you guys think this is the right decision, take a 3-point, because if someone is in the bin, the defending team don't want to get another play in the bin immediately. So a lot of times they actually will just let you score. It's easier to score when they're under pressure and don't want to give you another yellow card in the process. So kicking the 3, you're actually giving the players a chance, the defending team a chance to settle their nerves. You actually miss an opportunity to score a try. So yeah, sure enough, the All Blacks punished the reluctance for the French team. They had a penalty themselves, not kicking for 3. They kicked for the corner, and then just more try, bread and butter, Adi Savia. And Jordie Barrett kicked this one, 7 points to 3. 27 minutes into the lift tackle, and Jordie Barrett, the French number 4, gets taken off for a yellow card. 30 minutes into the game, another more try for the All Blacks. And this time, Cody Taylor gets the meat pie, 22 points to 3. The French, again, the kickoff as well, just kicked down with the ball on the full for a midfield scrum. 37 minutes into the game, Tava Tavanawai was on the field for Jordie Barrett, HIA. And his debut as well. There was some really nice run with Adi Savia down a few pumping ball player left and right, and eventually there was a few pop-off ball off the ground, and then Fabian Holland offload to Tupavai, followed through for the try. 29 points to 3, halftime score for the All Blacks. Second half starts, the All Blacks actually started a little bit slow. The French came out firing, piling a lot of pressure, and then eventually a deep pass, the number 15 straightened up and pumped through for the try from the French team. Bardet straightened up from a pass from Legaric, went in for the try. 29 points to 10. 53 minutes into the game, the All Blacks got themselves back into some pressure. Under the post for quite a while, lots of forward pick and drive, and eventually the ball went out wide, deep to Beauden Barrett, and Beauden Barrett, short shoulder-to-shoulder pass to Will Jordan, punched through for the try. 36 points to 10. 61 minutes of the game. Again, nice hands from the All Blacks. Lots of pressure under the post. And then just quick hands into the corner for Rico, went in for the try. Looked like Rico's arm was in touch. So this could have been a disallowed try because his arm was in touch when the ball grounded. 50-50 there. So 43 points to 10. 70 minutes in the game. This was the worst kick in the history of international test rugby. There was a full-on penalty. And Legaric decided to kick a crossfield ball. And then he went to nobody. He went straight to the All Blacks. Worst international kick ever. Seriously, this was just embarrassingly bad. 78 minutes into the game, finally the French had one last shot at it. They went for line out, went for the more. Again, it looked like the more went down, and they just got up and got again. But anyway, I think Justin Marshall was right. Eventually the ball went out for a crash ball, and then the French drove the over for the try. Brendan gets the score, 43 points to 17, the final score. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like and comment, subscribe, let me know your thoughts. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy this one. I'll see you guys later for the Anzac game against the British and Irish Lions. Cheers.